Over the course of YouTube's history, there has been countless amounts of content creators who have tried countless amounts of ways to try and gain traction on this platform. One specific type of YouTuber that I think really stands out from the norm is the so-called faceless YouTuber. Now, I know that there are many content creators on the platform right now who don't really make their face or their personality a primary aspect of their content. But faceless YouTubers are distinct in the way that they make their facelessness a primary aspect of their character. While their facelessness may have originated from their desire for privacy, it has long since become an aspect of their character that they can utilize to appeal to their audience. Anthony Padilla did a video a while ago with some faceless YouTubers to try and understand what it's like to be one. And I'll link it in the description below if you want to check it out. But this video is focused more on our audience perspective, on what it is about faceless YouTubers that make them so appealing to us as fans. So my personal first experience with faceless YouTubers was all the way back in maybe 2014, 2015 with this lovely little guy, Sup Guy. Cryotic was the pioneer of faceless YouTubers, at least to me. He was the first faceless YouTuber that I knew and was definitely the first that I ever had an interest in. Unfortunately, since then, Cry has had a real fall from grace, and I encourage you to go look it up if you happen to be curious. Long story short, he was a pretty nasty person behind the scenes and has since been banned on Twitch and no longer posts on YouTube. Funnily enough, our resident blob man was quickly and conveniently replaced by another blob man. I suppose life is really just a series of little blob men. Anyway, long story short, he's not a great person, but for the sake of this video and for the sake of the content of this video, I will be mentioning him throughout simply because he was such a prominent faceless YouTuber for so long, and it feels as if a video on faceless YouTubers would be incomplete unless he was mentioned. Since Cry's downfall, I think that two main faceless YouTubers have made the biggest impact on the YouTube community as well as grown incredibly in size in a very short amount of time, and that's Dream and Corpse. In my brief and frankly not at all cohesive understanding of faceless YouTubers, also known as I only have a sample size of 3, I think I've created a pretty good Venn diagram that helps us to try and understand what it is that makes these faceless YouTubers so appealing to us. As you can see, there are certain traits that these 3 people share that I will be talking about in this video, but I think that as a whole, the appeal of faceless YouTubers really falls into 2 main categories: branding and mystique. So when it comes to branding, I think that there's 2 main categories that really help these YouTubers to cement their niche, and that's in their content and in their persona. I think that the biggest similarity that we can see when it comes to faceless YouTubers is their content. I think it's an undeniable fact that Corpse Husband, Dream, and Cry have all made their marks on their community through gaming. And I think that it's interesting that despite the fact that Dream, Corpse, and Cry all fall within the general category of gaming, the types of genres of games that they play are sort of different. Back in the day, as a whole, Cry played a lot of role-playing games. He was especially known for his playthroughs of The Last of Us or other indie horror games. On the other hand, Dream is very obviously entrenched in the game of Minecraft, while Corpse Husband really started gaining traction when he started playing Among Us with the offline TV crew. And speaking of the offline TV crew, I think that it's really interesting how all these faceless YouTubers have a certain friend group that they usually play games with. For example, Cry had his late night crew, Dream has his Dream SMP, and Corpse has offline TV. I think that one of the main reasons why faceless YouTubers are so drawn to gaming content is that it's really easy to play with friends. It's a lot easier to make content without showing your face and your emotions if you have other people to bounce off of you. If you try to do content alone as a faceless YouTuber, it can sometimes be really difficult to try and fill in the gaps that are left behind when you don't really allow people to see your emotions or see your face. And speaking of the emotional gap that might occur when you're a faceless YouTuber, playing games can really help to try and draw your audience's attention in without needing to see your face. The games often are designed to try and keep the player's attention, and so it would only make sense that it would hold your audience's attention without ever needing to see you. I feel like it's necessary for me to mention that I am aware Corpse Husband originally gained his popularity from reading horror stories. I think that it's really interesting that this is a trait that both Cry and Corpse share. Back in the day, Cry's voice was one of the things that he was most known for. In fact, when I first heard Corpse's voice, it felt a little bit like deja vu. The way that people reacted to Corpse's voice was often the way that people used to react to Cry's voice. Of course, as a faceless YouTuber, your voice is one of the things that will draw people in the most, and it would only make sense that if you had a voice that was considered unique and pleasant to listen to, it would draw in a bigger audience. But considering Dream's popularity and the fact that he was not necessarily known for his voice, I don't think having a nice voice is a requirement, but it is certainly a plus. Now, for the most part, faceless YouTuber personas are relatively simple. They're usually something memorable and easy to draw. Now, this isn't exactly something that's unique when it comes to branding, but something about these faceless YouTubers allows them to get away with this particular blob as a persona. This little guy, for some reason, is just so appealing. This is the epitome of persona branding. But I think something that Dream and Corpse share that Cry was never really a part of was the fact that they don't shy away from the fact that there is in fact a human behind this YouTube channel. At least in the very early days, Cry was always very secretive about his personal details and especially his physical traits. On the other hand, Dream and Corpse both exist as humans. Dream has told his fans his height, his hair color, and has even made a physical appearance on a Mr. Beast video, though of course he didn't show his face. While Corpse doesn't necessarily share personal details either, he has shared some physical traits with his fans, most famously, of course, his hands. Both Corpse and Dream don't shy away from the fact that they do exist as humans. They don't simply exist as their persona. They are real people with real bodies. The reveal of these specific physical traits creates the perfect opportunity for something that I'm going to call mystique. The use of these half appearances and personas makes it really easy for fans to speculate their appearance to its full potential. Having a very basic idea of what these faceless YouTubers could look like or what they want to portray themselves as allows the fans to fill in the gaps with whatever they want, and more often than not, it'll be something overwhelmingly positive. The traits that are already given to us are seen as conventionally attractive. This is an undeniable fact. Having blonde hair and being 6 feet tall is attractive. Having curly black hair and strong hands is attractive. If the things that we do know about these YouTubers are already attractive, it would only make sense for us to then go in and fill in the gaps with other attractive traits. It's a lot easier to make someone that you don't know into what you wish they were, or maybe their ideal selves. It's also a lot easier for people to draw their YouTubers' personas and appearances if there's no set way that they're supposed to look. This mystique also provides fans for a reason to stay connected to their YouTuber. Every crumb of identity and personality that is given out to their fans is then tacked onto their metaphorical corkboard, where they try and piece together what their YouTuber is truly like. I also want to make it clear that this is not necessarily a bad thing. People love to rag on fandoms for being excessive and obsessive, but this is not really what it's like. It's a community of people who have a common interest, and you can't deny that this is what it's like when it comes to Star Wars. Just because a fandom is primarily female-dominated doesn't mean that it's excessive or obsessive. At the end of the day, it's really just another interest and hobby, and it shouldn't be something that's seen as negative. These personas were created to be appealing, to be attractive, and the fact that people are attracted to these personas means that they're doing a good job. As a final note, about 6 months ago, Dream posted a Q&A video where someone asked him how he grew so big so quickly. He mentioned that there was a lot of planning and a lot of research that went into creating his YouTube channel. I would be interested in hearing how he thinks his hidden identity helped to grow his channel and whether it was planned or not. But it's not like he'll ever see this, so I guess we'll never know. In the making of this YouTube video, it certainly doesn't slip my mind that all three of these people are all male. Even the faceless YouTubers in Anthony Padilla's video are all male as well. I don't want to get too deep into this because this is not what this video is about. But I think it's pretty obvious that it's a lot easier for guys to gain popularity over things like their humor or their personality, and much harder for girls to do the same. On the other hand, more feminine people seem to gain more success in the VTubing community. Again, I'm no expert on the VTubing community either, but from what I've seen, which is mainly Kizuna Ai, Hololive, and VShojo, a majority of VTubers, especially the popular ones, seem to be female. For some reason, even when it comes to being a faceless content creator, when you're female, physical attractiveness is a requirement. It is mandatory. I do know of a couple female faceless content creators, namely Barcode Overwatch on Twitch, who, as far as I know, has never posted a face reveal. But I don't think any of them has ever gained the same kind of traction and popularity as male ones have. I personally think that VTubing is a great way to encourage faceless content creation for anyone, regardless of gender. It can help people maintain privacy while still allowing for that sort of emotional closeness you get while looking at someone's face. Faceless tracking devices have become so incredible that it really does feel like you're looking at a real person's face when you're watching a VTuber. Many more popular streamers like Pokimane and Lily Pichu have since chosen to start using VTubing models in their streams rather than showing their face, allowing them to take breaks from having people constantly monitor their every expression. While I do still enjoy YouTubers who show their face, I think that faceless content creation provides for a different kind of entertainment and community that is very fun to be a part of as well. Thanks to everyone who watched this video, and I really appreciate you sitting through my rambling, and until next time, bye!